think it's about, of course, success opens up opportunities for you because people are then, it's the business of cinema at the end of the day, and then people feel like, okay, maybe we can take a punt and invest in a film like this, for example, about a mathematician, Shakuntala Devi, or about a forest officer, Sherni. And these were backed by a very reputed production house, Vikram Malhotra, but also by Prime Video, which is very, something which is, you know, I think that's noteworthy, right? And then now I'm doing a film called Niyat where I play a detective. So I think it's really about, those stories are being written because I wish I had the talent to write, I don't. But when those stories come to me, I grab them with all my might. Which is why again and again I cannot emphasize that film is but a reflection of what's happening around us. The more, and you know, OTT platforms have definitely opened up the canvas for us to be able to tell women-led stories. I do think that the reason women-led stories are so personal and yet we're not talking about war and those kind of things yet in a big way is because our stories are just being told. It is our personal experiences. It's, you know, we are still, a small fraction of us is still living our lives the way we want to. You know, there are still so many women who look at these films and say, oh my God, maybe I could go off on my honeymoon on my own. You know, it's still, it's at a very nascent stage. Before we concern ourselves with worldly issues, I think it's about what's happening with ourselves, with our bodies, with our dreams, with our families, about how we're navigating our lives. I think which is why it's more personal, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. But, you know, when, in my case, I've had the opportunity to do that, for example, in Mission Mangal, where I played scientists celebrating the mission to Mars, where there were so many women scientists involved. I think it's fantastic because there you got to see both sides. They're not women who are only scientists, like, I don't mean to, I want to say this correctly, I hope I am, but you know, they are homemakers also, but they are scientists. They're they're, you know, planning and executing the biggest mission from ISRO at that point of time. So I think it's fantastic that we're telling these stories because on our lives we're not divorced from our personal lives, from what happens at home. You know, like in Mission Mangal, that scientist is making rotis that day at home because her maid hasn't shown up, and she's having to make sure that the electricity bill is paid and her father-in-law's medicines are laid out for him, and then she goes to execute this big mission. You know, whereas with most men, the reality is that they don't have to do that, and that's unfortunate. But we'll get to that in another, hopefully, 50 years.